Hello, my name is Francis J.
And my name is John Rail.
Today is November 4th, 2008, otherwise known as Election Day.
And today, I'm giving my vote away. In July of this year, University of Minnesota student Max P. Sanders attempted to sell his vote on eBay. He was brought up on a felony charge, 1 count of bribery, treating and soliciting under an 1893 state law that prohibits somebody from buying or selling a vote. If found guilty, he faces up to 5 years in prison and a hefty $10,000 fine.
We're not saying that what Max did was right or wrong. On the one hand, you've got people throughout history who fought and died for your right to vote. You run the risk of belittling that fight. On the other hand,
people have fought and died in order to give you a vote. If you can't sell it, it's not really yours. And all those people died in vain. And let's not forget that Congress sells their votes to lobbyists all the time in what's known as campaign financing. And no, they don't go to prison.
they get reelected.
So, as a political experiment, I will be doing exactly what Max P. Sanders and Congress do, free of charge. I will be giving my vote away. We are outside of Selma Avenue Elementary School, my local polling office, where I am going to give my vote to my good friend James Knox Davis.
Hey John, here's my sample ballot with my choices indicated.
We soon learned that this was entirely unnecessary because, as it turns out, you actually can give your vote away. Not just symbolically by filling out your ballot according to someone else's intentions, but because of the Voting Rights Act, you are allowed to bring a second person into the booth known as a voting assistant. With that, you can literally give your vote away. You just can't sell it. To Mad Lib George Carlin, selling is legal, voting is legal. Why isn't selling voting legal? Here we are at the actual ballot booth, where James Knox Davies is taking my vote. Perfectly legal. We are not selling, there's no exchange of currency or alcohol. James Knox Davies is receiving my vote. There it is. James, you fill this out entirely yourself.
That is correct.
There we go. Let's meet the person who made this all possible.
John and James?
James Knox Davies and John Rail.
And John Rail and James Knox Davis came in and had, for their own reasons, decided to share votes. That is something that is their prerogative, but it needs to be done in a technically legal way. So what we suggested was that the privacy of what happens in the booth is fine, and a person can come into the booth with you to help you technically, as long as they sign in as an assistant. What happens in the privacy of the booth and how they choose to play it out as their choices, nobody's disenfranchised. But for us to legally allow someone in there, special lines after you sign in and you get your ballot, your assistant signs in on a line, explains their reason to the best of their ability, dates and does it official.
What are your feelings on vote selling? Did you hear about the kid who tried to sell his vote on eBay?
No, didn't hear anything about it. And you know what? For profit, it shouldn't be done.
Okay.
It's not about for profit. If somebody has some other reasons that they feel that it really needs to be done, it should not be capitalized in a
What about,
monetary way. That's my feelings.
well, what
But
about-
if they want to ratify the system and do something else, I'll uphold that. I still keep my feelings separate from what my job requires.
True.
You know?
Well, how do you feel about congressmen selling their votes to lobbyists?
Yes. Well, I think the serious ratification of the whole political system really needs to be done. Let's get rid of the electoral college vote BS. Let's take the whole lobbyist thing out of there, at least with the money. Let's put caps on things. But it's a long topic, isn't it?
Yeah.
Votes shouldn't be sold.
Okay.
But I gotta go because it's time for me to go to vote in my voting booth.
Well,
okay?
do a
Over
good
there.
job.
Thank you.
Thank
I'm
you.
gonna babysit. Nice to meet you guys.
Goodbye.
Really glad everything could work out legally.
Thank you very much. How do you feel about that concept of getting a second vote?
I love it.
Yeah.
I always want a second vote. Can I have your next one?